Hey YouTube, what's going on, and welcome back to Chironus Things. Today we're taking a look at the Wuben T4. For size dimensions, on length, we're looking at 3.8 inches or 97 millimeters. And on the max diameter on the head there, we're looking at 1.3 inch or 33 millimeters. And for weight, 2.8 ounces without the battery or 3.7 ounces with the battery. Now for size comparisons, here is the Emitter LD70 Mini. These are both 18350 lights. So you'll see that the Wuben is a bit bigger here. However, that makes sense because they threw a much larger head on there. Now here's an 18650 light with the Workhorse FC13. And you'll see significant difference there in length. However, the head diameter is quite large on this Wuben, but we'll see why here in just a little bit. Now, moving on to the back of the light here, we have a rubber button. This is an interesting button. I won't get too far into the user interface right now, but when you click this, there's actual 2 clicks that happen in there. So when you click this button, it feels a little strange as you feel 2 clicks happening instead of 1. And so you can click it where just 1 click happens, but you also, if you press all the way down, are going to get both. So it's kind of an odd feeling button, but it is a pretty solid rubber. It works all the time. You're never going to miss using the button whatsoever. So, I mean, it's a decent button. It's a very interesting feeling. It's not very pleasing, to your thumb to feel those 2 separate clicks. Now, as we said, this does have an 18350 battery in it. So we'll go ahead and pull that out. So we're looking at an 1100 milliamp, 3.6 volt, 18350. Okay. That's a button top. So it just screws right off the tail there. Now, this does actually have USB-C recharging. It's just a little bit weird to find it. So see where it says open to the left and close to the right? So that's where you have to turn this nut here and twist it. Once you get that off, hidden behind there is a USB-C recharging port, okay, and a little indicator light. So what this is when you've got it charging, this will let you know if it's still charging or if it's charged based on that light. So since that's hidden, that also means that when you have the light on, there is no battery indicator light that I can find, okay? But the nice thing about the way this works is you're not going to get any water leakage whatsoever into your USB-C port, which I think that they did because with this being the T4, it's meant to be a tactical series light. As far as the overall feel on this light and the grip, so it does come with a clip that goes right in here. So what it means is you're going to have like this much of the light sticking out of your pocket. I didn't like that. I felt like it just got in the way of my grip, so I took it off. This comes with a big lanyard. This actually comes with one of those lanyards where you has USB A and C in it, but there's no lanyard hole here. There's nowhere to actually hook up a lanyard, which I found a bit disappointing because I like to throw these little lights in my pocket and just pull them out with a lanyard. And since I'm not using the clip, that kind of stinks. So basically, without a lanyard, without anything else, without the clip here, I find that, yeah, my hand can grip around it. It's just not a super comfortable grip. It doesn't stay in super well. So what I will say is that for like $9 or $10, Wuben offers a finger ring that goes like from here and loops up, and it's got a little bead on it meant to be like a striking bezel or whatever. But regardless, it will lock your fingers in place. And I'm really wishing that I would have got that finger ring with this, because I think that I could give this a better review with that. But for right now, I don't have that, so I just kind of have to throw this into my pocket, and the grip doesn't feel quite as secure. Okay, but overall though, it feels fine. It's all right. So moving on to the top here, you'll see that we do have bezel up here, and I will say these are pretty sharp, and I think they're intended to be. Okay, so like you can feel, like you're not going to cut yourself touching it, but you can definitely feel that they're a bit sharper. They're meant to be, that if you strike something with this, it's not going to be pleasant. Now inside this head here, you'll see we have a deep reflector down there, and that emitter is an Osram emitter. The actual emitter is Osram CS LPM1, or if you're familiar with Hank Lights International Outdoor, also referred to as a W2. What that means is that this light, this emitter, shoots a very, very long, thin beam with high candela, which is what you want out of a tactical style light. And that's why you've got a bit of a larger head here to be able to fit a deeper reflector in there. For performance, we're going to be looking at 850 lumens on turbo or high. Now that's going to last for 1 minute, and then step down to 350 lumens, which will last for an hour. Now on that 850 lumens, that'll give you 401 meters. So again, out of this small of an 18350 light, 401 meters is a lot. And that's because of the way that this is designed, but also because of that Osram emitter in there. You're going to get 40,200 candela on turbo. Now down to medium mode, you're going to get 150 lumens at 2.5 hours. And on low mode, you're going to get 5 lumens on 7 hours. Okay, so now for the user interface. So what's going on down here is right now, this is on lock mode, okay? So what you have to do is you pull back on the tail to adjust what mode you want to set in. So you have lock mode, you have duty, and you have tac. So if you go to duty mode here, this allows you to actually turn it on, okay? So you can kind of just hold down that first click, and that gives you momentary, and that's going to be momentary turbo. Now if you fully click in and you feel both clicks happen, that's going to go to turbo mode, but now it stays on without touching it. And now you can do little single clicks to cycle through your high, medium, and low, which high and turbo on this are the same amount of lumens to my understanding. So I can cycle between high, medium, and low just doing these single clicks. Now to turn it off, you have to engage both of those clicks all the way down. Okay, so if I leave this off in low mode, and then let me turn it back on, see how it goes back to turbo? It doesn't have memory mode. This light is literally meant to be a tactical flashlight. It's meant to be a first responder, self-defense style flashlight. So it's always going to auto go into the highest mode. All right, so that's how duty mode works. Now if we come over here to tac mode, if I just do momentary, it gives me turbo, just like on duty. But if I fully engage in, it gives me strobe. Single clicking does nothing. So the only two modes you're going to get on this one are momentary turbo or fully engaged for strobe. So that's pretty much it. Your duty mode is going to be your main mode where you can cycle through your high, medium, low. And then for off, nothing happens for that lock mode. Now let's take this light outside and see what it can do with some outdoor beam shots. Now that we've seen the beam shots, as far as final notes on this light, everything works on it, everything works well. It definitely fits the tactical category. It's just not everything comes together for my liking. For example, I really would have liked to have a lanyard hole, or I would have liked if it just was included with that finger ring. I really wish I had that finger ring. And just overall, you know, I think it's a good light, but it's just not quite doing it for me all the way. If you're looking for a small tactical light, though, this could definitely work, and I think it definitely get that ring if you're going to get this. Overall, though, I still like the light. I'd probably rate it somewhere around a 7 or 8 out of 10, so still plenty usable. It's just not perfect. But if you do like this light and you want to check it out, it's $59.99 on Amazon. However, it's currently running 20% off. I'll link that in the description. Please feel free to leave me a comment if there's anything I missed, anything that you want to include in this. Let me know if there's anything else you want to see in future videos. Feel free to subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And thanks so much for watching, and have a great week.